Welcome to a movie film commentary track. My name is Zaki Hassan, and I'm joined once again by my good friend Brian Hall.
Hey, Zaki.
What's happening, Brian?
I'm ready to do this.
Well, you know, our last commentary that we recorded was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Uh-huh.
And so naturally, when it comes to pick a follow-up, you know, that's a high bar.
Uh-huh.
That's a high bar. So I thought long and hard about it, and I said, you know, we should watch Superman. But we already did Superman the movie. And I was like, well, what could possibly measure up to that? Nothing, really. So then I thought, okay, what's the exact opposite of Superman the movie? And I thought, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Which, I've never seen Superman 3. That's the only one I've never seen. Okay. But Superman 4, I have surprisingly seen the most of all the Superman films because it was always on WGN Channel 9 growing up.
Oh, okay. So not willingly. This is not something where you're like,
it's what was made available
4.
to me.
It was made available.
Yeah.
Like porridge.
Yes, exactly. And I just literally noticed this right before we went on, but it is currently sitting at an IMDb rating of 3.6 stars out of 10.
Well, that's I'd say maybe 1.6 of those stars are undeserved.
I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that low. Even bad ones rest at like 5.
Well, this is released in 1987, July of 87. So this year is its 30th anniversary, and I thought, well, we can't very well let the 30th anniversary of Superman 4: The Quest for Peace pass without acknowledging it.
Yeah.
I don't know how necessary this is, to be honest, but you know, it's a chance for you and I to chat while we watch a movie, and that's always necessary.
Yes. And I told you I watched this in preparation last night, and I was delighted at how much I remembered
wow.
this movie. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching this with you now.
So normally I say, all right, this is where you queue up, and I tell the audience which version we're watching. Uh-huh. There is only one version of Superman 4. It is the bad one. That's the only one that exists. Now, just to be clear, we're going to spend 90 minutes and that's actually part of the reason I chose this movie is because it's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll get out of here and it'll still be afternoon, and you know, It's not a miniseries, you know. We're not planning to just shit all over this movie for 90 minutes. No, I'm assuming there will be some of that.
Oh, sure. Sure. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting history with this movie, which you have told me about through the years. That's this is one of those things that people may not know. Actually, they probably do if they listen to the show. But Zaki is just a deep, deep well of information for so many things. And this is like such a great opportunity for him to bring all this stuff to the surface and share with the world. I'm looking forward to hearing this stuff again. So,
yeah, usually I bring it up in the context that's completely inappropriate. So you'll be like, Zaki, you know, I'm having trouble in my relationship. I'll be like, you know, speaking of troubled relationships, let me tell you about the Salkinds and Warner Brothers when they made Superman 2. And you'd be like, it's not okay, you know?
Yeah. And I'm like, so yeah, what about it?
90 minutes later, like we do a montage, like a time-lapse montage. I'm like drawing on a dry erase board and everything. You're like, that didn't help me, but I learned something, you know. Yeah. But we are queued up, and as I say, whenever we do our commentaries, you do not need to watch along with us. In fact, I would maybe encourage you not to watch along with us. The conversation might be more interesting.
And all the Superman 4 defenders right now are sort of grimacing, like, all right, Zaki, we'll give you a chance here, but I don't like the way this is starting.
Yeah, I don't like where this is headed. Well, let's before we lose too many more Superman 4 fans, let's dive in. So we are queued up, and as we do each and every time, I'll count to 3 and then play. So 1, 2, 3, play, and we'll go ahead and do that. Just a second. Brian, you ready to go?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, play.
It's got the
and this is interesting. They have the modern Time Warner logo.
Yeah.
For a movie that's not very modern at all. Now, as we dive right in here, you can see something is amiss. Something's wrong because they're trying to emulate the 3D title sequence of Superman 1 and Superman 2, but they don't have the money for it.
Yeah, this looks like if you want to recreate the Star Wars opening crawl and then you buy an app for your phone that emulates it, but it doesn't look exactly right, so you're a little disappointed.
And that would probably look better.
Yeah, and then the Superman logo there, that is something.
So the backstory here is, oh, and by the way, real quick, you can see here, it says Superman motion picture series initiated by Alexander Salkind. I don't think I've ever seen a credit like that before or since.
I noticed that. What is that implying?
Well, because the Superman film series, of course, the first 3 films starring Christopher Reeve and Supergirl, they were produced by Alexander and Ilya Salkind, and they owned the rights to Superman. Essentially, they had purchased the film rights before Warner Brothers bought Time Warner. Mm-hmm. So the films were released by Time Warner, but they were produced by the Salkinds, who owned Superman screen, big screen and small, and all the various, like the Superman family of characters. Mm-hmm. So by the time it came to do this, Superman 3 did well. It wasn't as big of a hit as they would have liked, and they made Supergirl in that would have been 1984, I believe.
Okay,
and that didn't do well. That was a big flop, actually.
Mm-hmm. Was that a big budgeted venture?
I mean,
there?
It was big. It was big enough. It was a big enough budget that it was a concern.
Mm-hmm. John Williams. We should note that music by John Williams.
Music by Williams, and the composer of this film is Alexander Courage, who is probably best known for having composed the Star Trek theme, the original Star Trek theme.
Oh, wow.
But he was John Williams is one of his favorite go-to conductors of his music. So this film actually includes a few thematic sequences that were actually composed by John Williams.
So it says music by John Williams, but then it has a composing title afterward, which isn't normal in the opening titles. So what you're saying is that Williams came up with a couple themes, but then someone else figured out how to fit them into the film.
Yeah, so returning themes here in this film is obviously the main title theme, the Superman theme. There's the Lois Lane, the love theme. There's also the Smallville theme. That's music from previous films. And then new music in this film is the Nuclear Man theme, and which is a variation of the Lex Luthor theme. Oh, and the Lex Luthor March, that's also reused here. Mm-hmm. And then there's a theme for the new love interest, Lacey Warfield, played by Mariel Hemingway. So both of those new pieces of music were composed by John Williams. Because the initial plan for this film was to go big, right? So picking up on the backstory, essentially Supergirl comes out and it tanks, right? It was budgeted at $35 million. It made less than $15 million.
Ooh.
So back in 1984 dollars, that's a kind of a disaster. Mm-hmm. And Supergirl, when you think about it, they followed the Superman template, right? An appealing unknown actor, Helen Slater, who's great, by the way. Mm-hmm. But then you have Faye Dunaway and Mia Farrow and Peter O'Toole. Kind of the same way Superman had a whole closet full of prestige actors, right? Mm-hmm. And they even had Mark McClure as Jimmy Olsen to kind of connect the dots. The original plan was for Christopher Reeve actually to make a cameo in the Supergirl movie, and he either was unavailable or unwilling, depending on who you talk to. Mm-hmm. But in the film, there's a poster of Christopher Reeve as Superman that kind of connects the universes. But that movie flops, and so at that point, the Salkinds licensed the rights to Canon.
Okay.
And, if you grew up in the 80s, Canon Pictures. Mm-hmm. There's a terrific documentary called Electric Boogaloo about Canon Films. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's on Netflix. I highly, highly recommend it. About their whole their really sloppy, terrible aesthetic that we associate with our childhoods,
Right.
So they were known for making cheap schlock. Canon.
Right, like the Chuck Norris Delta Force films and things like that.
Basically any movie starring Chuck Norris. Just about, right? Like the famous story about Canon is that he was in a movie called Missing in Action, which is it's kind of a Rambo riff. And so they were, in order to save money, they were making Missing in Action 1 and Missing in Action 2 at the same time. And the director of Missing in Action 2 was looking at the rushes for the first film, and he was like, this movie is shit. And if you put that out, my movie's not going to do any good.
Mm-hmm.
So he convinces them to put out his movie first. This is true. And that one does well. He's like, my movie's good. So they put out his movie first, it does well, and then they release Missing in Action 2, and they call it a prequel.
Okay. How did it do? Was it...
I don't know how the second one did. The first one did okay, though.
Well, he was right, I guess.
Yeah, right. So anyway, they wanted to bump up their perception. So they licensed the Superman rights not because they wanted to crank out just a cheapo programmer. They wanted to do something big. So they budgeted $30 million for it. They got Christopher Reeve to come back, and that was a big deal because Christopher Reeve was done after Superman 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so they told Christopher Reeve, you can shape the film however you want to. Mm-hmm. And so Christopher Reeve is the one who came up with the idea for this film. He was very much conscious of sort of the Cold War and the arms race at the time. And so he was like, why not use Superman to do a social commentary?
Right.
Certainly nothing wrong with that, as an idea.
No.
And so Christopher Reeve comes back, and him being involved is what gets Gene Hackman back on board, and
I was wondering about that.
Margot Kidder, etc. Yeah.
What got Gene Hackman to be in this?
That's a question. I mean, Gene Hackman did not even come back for Superman 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's if you're listening to this, you already know this, but all of the footage of Gene Hackman in Superman 2 was already shot when they did the first film.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he didn't come back is because he didn't like the way the Salkinds essentially just kicked Richard Donner to the curb.
Mm. Oh, wow.
So, he was, yeah, exactly. He was pretty loyal to him. And so when it came time to do the fourth one, again, the initial plan was to go big. They wanted Richard Donner to come back. Christopher Reeve actually went to Tom Mankiewicz initially to help him shape the script. And Tom Mankiewicz wrote the script for Superman 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And what Tom Mankiewicz said is, Christopher Reeve is like, I have this idea where Superman tackles the issue of nuclear proliferation. And Tom Mankiewicz says, the problem with doing a story like that is that once you make Superman an actor in a real-world scenario, the illusion is broken the minute you walk out of the theater. Right? So Superman's like, all right, I'm going to rid the world of nuclear weapons. Okay, you walk out of the theater, nuclear weapons are still there.
Right.
So it's like there's no way to really resolve it, right? It's a fundamentally unsolvable premise because either he does what he would logically do if Superman existed, or he does nothing because he can't do anything because of the real world.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that if you're pondering the story, but it's not, I mean, that's what this film is, and I didn't really think much about it when it was over.
Right. Well, and that's the problem, too, is that Either you tackle it and you go all in, or you just do something surface level that people just like you. I didn't think about it when it was over, in which case you haven't achieved the goal that presumably Christopher Reeve wanted.
I guess. Or I mean, at least you would think, well, wouldn't it be great if, or we should aspire toward that thing in the way that movie just made me feel. And if everyone could feel like that, I don't know, like it could be aspirational.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of a couple years after this, Star Trek V, which was also the story was shaped by its star. William Shatner wrote and directed that. And his whole idea was the Enterprise goes off in search of God.
Mm-hmm.
And the producer, Harv Bennett, he had a problem with that because he's like, the problem with that premise is that inherently, it's an unachievable premise.
Right.
So it's like either they find God and he's not real, or they don't find God. There's no other... They don't actually find God. You know that just from the premise.
Right.
And that's kind of it. I mean, I remember thinking about this when I was much younger, and I always thought about that, where you want to set goals for your characters that, as an audience member, you believe are at least within the realm of the achievable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's some lessons to be had from a screenwriting perspective. I will say, I mean, the scene that we're watching here is really terrific. I love this entire Smallville sequence in this film.
Yeah, this is great.
It really illustrates, first of all, how comfortable Christopher Reeve was playing this character by now.
Yeah, Clark Kent.
As Clark Kent. And the fact that this is the Clark that's separate from Daily Planet Clark.
Mm-hmm.
He's comfortable in his own skin, and he doesn't have to be anybody, but he's telling this person who wants to buy the farm, where he's like, no, I want this farm to be owned by farmers, and that's coming from him.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about it. It's a different version of Clark Kent than the Metropolis Clark Kent.
It is.
You're right. He is.
Right?
He does come off more comfortable. I mean, he does the play thing where he can't hit the baseball,
right,
just for show. But otherwise, yeah, he sticks to his guns and looks comfortable walking around.
I think Christopher Reeve is very, very good in this film.
Mm-hmm.
He's also very thin in this film.
I thought about that, actually. It's funny because when it first started, I was sort of impressed. Like, the costumes that we have now for superheroes are all rubber and sort of sculpted.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing here helping him out. Like, it's his body in spandex. And he looks impressive because he's a tall sort of guy, but he does look thinner in this film than he did in the others.
Yeah, I mean, I think he looked at his best physically in Superman 3. He was a little bit stockier. I liked the way his hair was styled.
Right.
By the way, we should mention here John Cryer driving onto the quarry. Now, as scripted, the plan was that Lex Luthor was on a chain gang at the side of the road.
Yeah.
Which would make sense that his nephew would just pull up. So the idea that his nephew just wanders onto a prison quarry makes no sense.
Yeah. It's funny, too, the way that Lex is now watching. They have this car, and his nephew just tricked the guards into going in and locked him inside. And
then murders them.
And then they go off this cliff. I was like, whoa. And then there's this insane cartoonish car leap into the air.
Now you'll note that Gene Hackman has hair in this film, and I think it's because he just straight up did not want to wear a bald cap again.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He almost murders them. That's completely cartoonish.
That's what?
That's completely cartoonish.
Yeah.
The idea that they would survive that. But
I mean, they had this black smoke like the car exploded.
Yeah, right. But Lex Luthor, if we accept that he's wearing a wig, he's wearing a balding wig.
Yes. Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like the best use of his time.
Yeah. So here we are on location in New York City. Or no.
This is very obviously London.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of scenes. I mean, this is that's not what the subway looks like. This is the LA subway. I mean, sorry, the London subway.
Yeah. Like McGruff, the crime dog ad there.
I think that was Smokey Bear, wasn't it?
Well, it was both.
Oh, okay.
Side by side.
And then, of
I
course,
I felt bad for this guy here. The guy having the heart attack.
We don't ever talk about him, yeah.
Driving the train. I love, though, at the aftermath of this, Superman just kind of touches his shoulders like, yeah, he'll be all right. And I do want to say, what was so back to the farm real fast, when Clark whiffs the ball with the guy who's interested in buying the farm, and then when he hits it and shoots it into space, which I love that they actually show the shot of the ball in space. That's great.
Yeah.
What was Superman Returns, or one of the modern ones? They did something really similar, didn't they?
Yeah, he throws the ball to the dog. He doesn't throw the dog, although that would be kind of funny. He throws the ball to the dog. The dog keeps screaming back, and then he throws it way out there, and the dog's like, yeah, never mind.
Oh, right. I thought this was interesting, too. I thought he was going to stop the train, but that probably would have been too complicated to do with the budget that they had, so he just sort of stops it with...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? So we go from a $30 million budget, which in 1987 dollars is pretty substantial, to like 15. I mean, they literally cut it in half.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I mean, you can't help but feel bad for Christopher Reeve, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've already earned all this goodwill with this character in this franchise, and then you hate to put out something sucks.
Yeah, and
is less than. He knows it's less than before it even comes out.
Which has to be a shame because and as I said earlier, and I'll reiterate, I mean, if you are just watching Christopher Reeve in this, he is so good. He does so much. Mm-hmm. And again, he plays on his familiarity in the role and with the role.
Right.
I think at this, when you think about it, Christopher Reeve owned the role of Superman in the 70s and the 80s. It was him. Mm-hmm. He was so identified that the idea of, hey, let's do something where we're making some kind of social commentary, why not? I mean, you had a perfect opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's not the idea, it's the execution.
And speaking of social commentary, I like after he stops the runaway subway train, and then he's like, just 1 minute, I'd like to say that public safety is still the best way to get around in this city today.
Public transportation, yeah.
And he's like, thank you, and just walks away.
That's basically what Superman does in these movies. Is he gives a lot of speeches. And
yeah. And this is, I didn't remember this plot. I was too young to understand the implications of what's happening here, but basically the paper's being taken over by a tabloid owner, right? And they're going to turn it into sensational news to sell more papers.
Well, I'm glad that kind of thing could never actually happen in the real world.
I know. I actually even thought, I was like, wow, things never change, I guess. I mean,
I know
it's 30 years ago.
It's 30 years ago, and yet at least that specific aspect is entirely timeless.
Yeah. Now, I had read that people did not get along with Christopher Reeve so well on this one.
Really?
Yeah. I thought you were going to have a story about that. But yeah, I guess it was Margot Kidder specifically said she did not get along with him, and he didn't get along with the director. And I think it's because this was his story and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to imagine that you're contractually bound to do this thing, and your idea is just getting shortchanged. I mean, it would be tough. And bear in mind, Christopher Reeve was at a point career-wise where I think he was seeing the writing on the wall in terms of his sort of value as an above-the-line marquee. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, this is something to keep you in the game, and it must be so disheartening when it plays out the way that it does.
Part of the reason he agreed to do this film is that the folks at Cannon agreed to finance one of his pet projects, which is a movie called Street Smarts, or Street Smart. And that starred him as a reporter, and it co-starred Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman got a Oscar nomination out of that.
Oh, wow.
But the movie didn't play. And, I think in his mind, so Street Smart came out maybe 6 months before this, and then this came out that summer. And I think you have two back-to-back flops. And, I mean, other than Superman, what had Christopher Reeve really been in that he carried on his own? Right.
I mean, Somewhere in Time is the only thing I can name, right? Off the bat, other than Superman.
And that movie didn't perform,
Yeah, which I've never even seen it. I just know it as the movie that is Christopher Reeve, not a Superman.
Right, exactly,
And I wanted to point out also we got to point this out too, but real quick, the Mark McClure as the Jimmy Olsen, until Hugh Jackman was Wolverine, he was the actor who had played one comic book character the most. At 5 times.
Right? 5 times.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Yeah, this might have been the time for him to tap out, because he's like 18 going on 52 in this movie.
Yeah. Martin McFly, he also played Martin McFly's brother, which people would probably know him most from.
Right.
And then this boy is so funny.
There's a thing I call dumb kid syndrome.
Yeah. Well, this teacher talking to the classroom, like, what should we do for this, crisis? And I love this boy right here when he puts his hands out here. Yeah. He's like, then who can help us? Superman, guys. And it's like this completely obviously dubbed voice.
Right. It's very clearly now that kid is like the crux that this film is built on, but they basically just chopped him out of the movie.
Yeah. And gave him some other actor's voice where he's like trying. So it's acting that feels way out of sync with what he's doing. We've got to call Superman. It's great.
Now over here, this is a museum exhibit.
Let's
where
discuss.
it's Superman's hair is so unbreakable that it's holding up this 1,000-pound weight there. Right?
Which I love the comic booky logic of this, I have to admit.
This is true.
Yes.
But here's the problem with this, which I'm assuming you will also
I had 2
agree
problems
with me.
with it. I want to hear.
Well, right there. How did he cut it?
He snips it with these. They're not even industrial-sized clippers. I mean, they're just clippers.
Yeah.
He cuts the hair. And two, does the hair still have the strength if it's detached from his body? I mean, doesn't it? It's not connected to his living. I don't know. I love that this is so insane when they're getting on the desk like this to pose for him. Can you imagine walking into an office, someone calling you in and posing like that on their desk?
Right. This is Mariel Hemingway. We should point out that she's the granddaughter of Ernest Hemingway.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems obvious now, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really liked her in this movie.
She's fun.
She's fun, and she's surprisingly never an antagonist.
That's very true. Yeah, you kind of... Well, it's interesting, right? Because it feels like they've just completely put the Clark, Lois, Superman triangle to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kind of make a sop to Lois being infatuated with Superman, but... the first two films, certainly, they had this idea that Clark was very much in love with Lois.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've just forgotten about that.
I just felt like I thought she was going to be a sort of Paris Hilton kind of character.
Sure, and you could see that today.
Yes, but she's never conniving. She's nice to Lois. She has a genuine crush on Clark. God love her. You know what I mean? Like it's. I thought she was actually a really... That is not what I would have predicted that character to be.
Sure. Yeah, I think that again, it's. I was going to say, I mean, it's a shame that they cut so much out, but it's really not, because you can see most of the deleted scenes on the DVD, and it would have been garbage regardless, because they just didn't have the money for it. But there's so much here that bespeaks what could have been a far more compelling film. And I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, God, you guys, like, if you would have put the money in, you would have made it back. Like, it's so short-sighted.
Yeah. I mean, so it was originally over 2 hours, right? Like 130 minutes or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And now it got hacked down to 90 minutes. Yes, a lot of this movie doesn't look bad. It's just the effects are a little hacky. So I guess, yeah, with more money. I mean, the whole Superman flying into camera is literally the same shot with him blue screened over different. Yeah,
and you can see the sort of the frayed edges of the really terrible matting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think fundamentally the when you have a film that tackles this question, you can't just sort of allude to it for the first 25 minutes or so and just forget about it, which essentially is what happens, because Superman's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then he drops all the nuclear weapons in a net, throws them into the sun.
Yeah.
And he kind of rubs his hands together like, all right, what's next?
Yeah. Did you see that guy roller skating in the background with a coffee?
I did.
At the Daily Planet? Yeah.
It's the 80s.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. I will say, I mean, I think that the Daily Planet subplot I really like in this film, especially because it gives the characters an agency separate from merely being sort of, hangers-on of Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I like that, for example, we just saw Jackie Cooper as Perry White, and he's like, he goes off and he's going to be doing his thing to try to save the paper. Like, we really get a sense of Perry White as a vital character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it goes to what I was saying earlier. I mean, I think that what this film had working in its advantage was just people's familiarity. Like, this scene here is really great. I love this quiet bit where it's just Clark as Superman.
Mm-hmm. I actually thought this was a beautiful shot.
It's terrific. I mean, you see it on his face. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I think that that's something right out of the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of, like, what is Superman's role in the Earth, right? Is he altering Earth's history simply by being here? Should he use his power to prevent mass genocide? You know what I mean? Like, that's stuff that you could really see somebody like Grant Morrison or, Alan Moore, whoever, really picking apart and doing something interesting with.
Yeah.
And they have done interesting stuff with. I mean,
Yeah, and this exterior shot here, the fortress, and even the interior, I don't really feel like it looks that bad. Like, some of the stuff looks pretty good.
I mean, for what it
considering
is.
its age and everything.
I mean, this right here, it's pretty obvious that it's supposed to be
His
Jor-El
father.
that he's talking to, not random old guys,
Right. Right.
right?
Advising
it's
him whether or
almost-
not he should act.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost less
on the boy's letter.
effective because it's these random people.
Yeah. This is
Because
great, though. Betrayed. 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 It felt like something that they, in the script, a guy had an idea of what that would look like, and then
Right.
the director didn't get it.
Like, that's something that would be in the soundtrack. Like, you hear it echoing.
Yeah. Or you would cut each time closer to the guy's face or something.
Not just keeping on saying it.
Betrayed. Betrayed.
Now, Christopher Reeve was, like, in probably like 36 or so when he made this movie.
Uh-huh.
36, 37 probably. And you could easily have seen him continue to play the role for a couple more years, you know,
Oh, yeah.
had this done well.
Yeah,
and,
he
and
still
that was,
looks the part.
yeah, very much so, you know. And this scene, but this is another example of a scene. This was not originally in the script. They added it later because they wanted something. They wanted a mature scene where Clark and Lois are just talking to each other as people.
Oh, interesting. I mean, they were going to have the moment after this, though, right?
One assumes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that, right? The idea of them going off and flying together. In theory, it's like, oh, it's a nice little nod to the first film, but it just feels like a low budget ripoff of the first film.
Yeah, and it's really odd, too, the way that he frightens her.
Yeah, right.
I mean, instead of her turning around and seeing him sort of hovering in the air, which would seem a little more classy of him
Right.
to do. I love he's just like, he like pretends to commit suicide and take her
I'm
with
just
him.
gonna die now. Yeah. It's kind of, you know, now with the current DC films where it's sort of established that Lois knows that he's Superman, and you know that was something that Smallville did. Audiences, I think, are more accepting of that idea, and I almost feel like this would have worked. This movie would have worked better if, you know, the reveal happens and she knows, you know.
Yes.
And that's it, you know.
Yeah, that's too bad. This looks really terrible. But this aerial photography actually looks pretty spectacular.
But it looks worse than the first film.
This looks like if you were to go to Universal Studios and they were to give a demonstration about how blue screen works, you know, and they insert you in a scene. Actually, that might look better.
I have to. Well, certainly now, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
He's in San Francisco, and now he's in Colorado, I guess. And now he drops
And
her.
he just, I love it. And he's like, bye-bye. Just drops her.
Just kidding. He does this a lot. Because he did kind of the same thing in the first film.
She should have been like, what the hell is the matter with you? Well, he's just got this maniacal smile.
But that's the thing, is that, you know, he essentially turns to her and he's like, I need your help to figure this out, and blah, blah. And, she, you know, it's a very nice moment where she's like, you always do, you know, what you think is right or whatever. You know, the conversation that they have, it's very nice. Mm-hmm. Right? But then he's like, okay, well, I don't need you anymore. So I'm going to do the old amnesia kiss again.
So when was this introduced? Amnesia kiss?
In Superman 2.
Okay.
That's his power, where he kisses you and just sucks your memories right out of your head.
See, I know one pretty well, but I've seen two a couple times. And okay,
Yeah, so this is his second time doing that in 4 movies.
How many times do you think he's amnesia kissed her? It's like the Men in
He
Black
probably does
flashy
it.
thing.
Well, between amnesia kiss and turning the world back,
Who
you
knows?
have to imagine. I think Superman's super dickery is
Knows no
quite
bounds.
substantial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Margot Kidder in this looks like she's aged like twice as many years as the actual Span.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be insensitive, but I did think when I was watching it that sadly, if you put a little gray in her hair, she could almost play his mother in the modern version of this movie.
Right. Yeah, you know, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, obviously not trying to be dickish about it, but
It's just, I mean, that's just how things have changed, really,
it's a bit jarring.
in 30 years, yeah. I love I noticed this last night. Something, for as bad as a lot of the visual effects are in this movie, the moments when he walks in somewhere and then walks out a second later where they've obviously stopped the camera and started it again,
Sure.
look amazing. There's no jolt to the camera. I was really impressed I mean, you even watch like Ferris Bueller when they try to do those gags and the principal's running back and forth and you can tell the camera kind of shifts and whatnot, but they're pretty seamless in this movie. So
that's the low bar that we're setting.
So good work. I was impressed.
So Sidney J. Furie, who directed this movie, is I was looking at his filmography, and I think the probably the most high profile thing he did was in the '60s, which is the Ipcress Files, starring Michael Caine, and it's an espionage movie, and it's actually pretty good. But other than that, he's basically known for doing the Iron Eagle series.
Right. Yes. I recall that. Now,
so this is supposed to be New York.
I was going to say, yes. This
look at the fire hydrant.
The random fire hydrant. Trying to make it look like New York.
That's something. Even as a kid, I was like, "Wait, what? How does that work?"
Because he's walking to the United Nations, and I read an excerpt from Christopher Reeve's book, and he was saying, "Now, in your mind, when you conceive of this scene, he's walking down 42nd Street, and there's people looking out the windows, and there's people lined up, but sadly, all they had was about 100 extras, and they were in London, and they gave someone an I Love New York bag and added a fire hydrant, and that's all they had to work with."
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, this is what I keep saying, like, you can see the version of this movie because it's so earnest, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but the Richard Donner Superman was earnest too, but it made you buy into its earnestness.
It's funny though, I don't remember thinking about these things when I was a kid.
See, that's interesting because to me here's me, right? So summer of '87, I go to see Masters of the Universe in the theater, and I walk out, and that was also canon, by the way. Between Masters of the Universe and Superman 4, that's like where canon basically went bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Because neither movie performed. But I walk out of Masters of the Universe, I'm like, that is the greatest friggin' thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was like 7. A few months later, I watched Superman 4. I saw it on VHS, and I'm like, this movie is friggin' dog shit.
Really?
So I'm wondering, like, I clearly had enough critical appreciation to be like, this is no good. But then again, I walked out of Masters of the Universe thinking it was just the sun and the moon.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I don't understand.
I remember as a boy not thinking this was Star Wars.
Okay.
But I certainly didn't think about, oh, there's only 100 extras. No, that doesn't look like it. I just sort of went with it. I do remember not really liking Nuclear Man very much.
Sure.
Thinking he was kind of just weird, and he had long nails, which I thought was weird. Like, But I didn't have cable. Beggars can't be choosers. This was what was on.
Right. you do what you can, right?
Yeah.
So the thing here is that Superman goes up in front of the world, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get rid of all the nuclear weapons," and the entire world's like, "Sounds good."
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was what I didn't quite put together. Are they like launching them for him to grab here?
Yes.
Is that what's happening? So
because he has a space net.
Yes.
That he's been knitting together. Like, where did that net come from?
I didn't even think about that. There's the shot.
You're going to see that shot of Superman flying towards the camera again and again and again.
Yeah. The space net. Good question. Good question.
Like, where did it come from? How is it just kind of sitting there?
It's an enormous net.
Where did he get the materials for it?
I thought this looked impressive, this launch here in what I assume is Russia.
I think that's like $12 million of the budget right there.
It looked pretty good, that right there.
There's the shot.
Yeah.
And that's it. As a result, no craft services because of that, because of that shot.
Yeah, we're all going to Burger King today. So it looks like a matte painting, but it's moving. All those missiles in that net.
See, I mean, this seems I don't know. It seems unsafe to me. I'm just saying.
I thought about that too, all them clanking together.
It's a giant space net with every nuclear weapon on Earth. That does not. I don't know. I'm not telling Superman how to do his job. I'm just saying, maybe think things through a little.
There's something that looks bad about this and oddly okay about this too to me. I can't explain it.
It's goofy.
Yeah.
See, but so essentially here we are. We're at the 35-minute mark, and we've essentially, closed the chapter about Superman trying to rid the Earth of nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm. And there's that actor again. I've always forgotten his name, but he plays Porkins.
William Hootkins.
Yep. And was just in Raiders, our last commentary.
In our last see, that's actually what we're doing. We're doing commentaries on the William Hootkins catalog.
Oh, that'd be a good series.
Right? Because we're going to do Batman 89 at some point.
Yeah, for sure. It's too bad he's passed. Yeah. We could reach out to him and be like, hey, tribute to you.
William Hootkins, by the way, I mentioned this earlier, would go on to play Lex Luthor in a series of BBC Superman audio plays.
Huh.
So he was just doing research here. Now, Gene Hackman, you have to imagine, showed up for like a week. He had, couple scenes. They're probably like, you get to wear a nice suit, you get to hang out in this nice hotel.
With weird Victorian English women.
Yeah.
And that scene coming up.
Evening, Governor.
I know. Yeah. What I kind of appreciate, though, is he seems like he's going for it.
Yeah, he's not phoning it in, but
no.
I mean...
Maybe it's just fun for him. Like you say, if it's just like a week, he comes in, gets to screw around for a little bit, and then take off.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, for Gene Hackman, playing Lex Luthor in these films was essentially doing what Cesar Romero and those guys did on the old Batman show.
Mm-hmm.
So you show up, you ham it up for a little while, and then, you cash your check. And it's weird now, right? Because Gene Hackman has not acted in so long that, I don't know about you, but whenever I see Gene Hackman in an older movie, I always kind of cherish the performance a little more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I certainly view it differently. I mean, he's one of the greats.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a bad movie, but you certainly can't point the finger at him.
No. It's funny. I just saw a good chunk of the Royal Tenenbaums lately.
Oh, sure.
And he's so great in that movie.
Yeah, I mean that's one of his better latter performances, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that his latter performances were bad. I mean, he's pretty consistently good in just about everything.
Yeah. So now, I don't know a ton about the deleted scenes, but I guess there was a whole other subplot where there were two nuclear men.
Yeah, the idea, he creates an earlier nuclear man who ends up not working out so well, and that's why he gets the idea of, okay, let's do this thing where we launch it into the sun. So that would have pushed the nuclear subplot a little further into the film, right? But what they realized was the guy just looks kind of goofy.
Well, he's sort of the experiment gone wrong version, right? I mean, the deleted scene is on YouTube, and he's this sort of goofy, kind of version of him that gets dispatched, and then I guess they try again.
Yeah, he kind of... I don't know if you're familiar with Bizarro from the Superman comics.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that.
Yeah, but they I love this too, where they snip little bits of cloth.
Right.
And they put it into this box.
It's meant to be kind of like a Frankenstein.
Yeah, but it's just the we put a little bit of this membrane goo in here. We put a little bit of cloth, and he'll have a perfectly tailored supervillain outfit when he emerges from the sun.
Sounds perfectly legitimate. Yeah, the actor who played the first nuclear man, who by this point he would have showed up in the movie. His name is Clive Mantle, and he's an English actor who. He was in a few episodes of Game of Thrones, actually, so that's what you might know him from.
Interesting.
He was Great John Umber. Great John Umber. I've never seen the show, so.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then so this is where we get the second Nuclear Man is about to be created, and he's played by an actor named Mark Pillow.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean,
he's like Dolph Lundgren light.
He's who you get if you can't get Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
And kind of interesting because the idea originally with the Nuclear Man was he was meant to be, in essence, a walking effect. He was supposed to be somebody who is just glowing and kind of takes all kinds of shapes. And the idea was he would be much more intimidating that way. So they looked at it a couple different ways. One, they were like, hey, why don't we have Christopher Reeve play him?
Because he comes from his DNA.
It comes from his DNA. So you have Christopher Reeve with Lex Luthor's voice.
Uh-huh.
Potentially. I think I have to imagine part of that, like logistically, it would be hard to do. The other thing is that they kind of did that in the third Superman, which I know you haven't seen the movie, but there's a scene where Superman and Clark can't fight each other.
You showed me that scene, yeah.
Yeah, which is a great scene.
Yeah.
So they decided against that, and then they sort of ended up on, okay, let's just have like a blonde guy, and that's something that one of the writers. I believe it's Mark Connor who did the commentary for Superman 4. He talked about how once you had this kind of beefy-looking guy with teased blonde hair, you kind of knew, all right, Nuclear Man's not going to be particularly intimidating.
It's interesting.
The weird thing is that, really, Nuclear Man is the first supervillain that Superman fights in these movies.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember this very well from when I was a kid. This whole Star Baby 2001 sort of birth.
I mean, notwithstanding the evil Kryptonians from the second one.
Right.
But like a wholly different creation, and you can see how they could have gone the comic book route and found somebody in the comics if they were just going to do this,
Yeah. I remember really not liking those nails as a kid.
Yeah, this is creepy looking.
Something about that was just very unnerving. What I didn't remember was that it was Gene Hackman's voice.
Yes.
For him. And the moment I realized that watching this last night, I became riveted for every time he would speak because I was picturing Gene Hackman in a recording booth having to say these, I will bring about the world's destruction kind of cornball lines.
It's so true. Now, this is probably the most 1980s scene in this whole movie.
Yeah, the aerobics.
Doing aerobics and this is another scene where I think the intent was to because we see Clark kind of get picked on by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea was to play it much more satirically, but I don't know how well it works.
This was the scene where I realized that Mariel Hemingway's character. I was like, oh, she's really nice. Like I expected her to be sort of a problem, and then she would change her mind and go against her father or something. But she's kind of nice from the start.
Yeah, she's like, you wonder why she likes Clark, and you're sort of like, what's the angle? But there really isn't an angle.
Yeah, she's just maybe opposite of the men she's used to or something. He's just complete because Lois keeps trying to say like, look, he's seriously the last Boy Scout and
stay
kind of
away
square,
from him.
and that she likes that.
See, so this guy here, who's kind of who ends up taunting him, kind of, he was meant to be this behemoth.
Yeah, kind of. He looks like Michael Ian Black from Wet Hot American Summer. Not quite what you would imagine. Some
right.
Sort of trainer.
The idea, I think it was meant to be like those old Charles Atlas ads, which I don't know if you remember those, but like there would be like the big muscle-bound guy who picks on this guy on the beach, and then the little twerp ends up beating that guy up, and so that really works if he's muscle-bound. But this guy he looks like a normal guy.
Yeah. It would be such a different thing, and I love that he actually does have a moment later. Superman was like, yeah, screw this guy. Just throws the weights at him.
Right. Yeah, you definitely get a sense that the director just did not really understand the material. Oh, here we go. This is what you're talking about.
What, these? Screw you, later. No pain, no gain. Yeah.
Died.
That was a thing. No pain, no gain in the 80s?
Right.
I love this. This makes absolutely
no
sense. I love it though. I love it.
I mean, clearly there's a story there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we're seeing is Lex Luthor with this woman in complete Victorian garb, big busty dress, huge wig, and he's just dancing with her, and then someone's coming, ta-ta,
moving on
to her, and she just wanders off. I love that.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah. There was the other sort of 80s-ish sort of line that Mariel Hemingway's character says at the beginning, like, and it's all about making money. That's the name of the game, or something like that.
Yeah, so this is post Wall Street.
Yeah.
So I do think, I mean, John Cryer being in this, that's kind of interesting too, because he was like semi well known.
This was like his time, wasn't it? He'd already, I assume, done Pretty in Pink and all that.
Yeah, so he was I mean, I don't know if people went to see movies because of John Cryer, but I mean, he wasn't some unknown.
Maybe it's like you said, I mean, they set out to make this a big summer movie. I mean, he didn't assume he would be in what it ended up, I guess.
I mean, I think everyone got involved with this with the best of intentions. Like, oh, this isn't going to kill the franchise.
Yeah.
This is going to, it's going to be a bold reinvention. So I don't think anybody realized just how bad it would get, Mm-hmm. He's talked about it. John Cryer's talked about it. He's very funny. He's very self-effacing about working on the movie and just what kind of a disaster it ended up being.
Wasn't he? I read somewhere he was pulled aside by Christopher Reeve right before he saw it and was like, "I'm just telling you, it's terrible."
Yeah. So they finished filming and here's John Cryer. He says, "I ran into Christopher Reeve on the street and I said, 'Hey, let's have lunch.' And he said, 'Okay, sure.' We went out for lunch and I said, 'I'm so excited about the movie. When's it coming out?' And he said, takes a deep breath, 'You need to know, it's an absolute mess. We had 6 months of flying work that we were supposed to shoot. They cut 5 months of it. They've thrown together an edit that barely makes sense.' And I was absolutely devastated because I really wanted to be a part of bringing Superman back,
Man, that makes sense. If they cut all the flying stuff, that's why we see the same thing over and over.
You picture like they cut out a shot of, like, they printed out a shot of Christopher Reeve flying and they just kind of moved it. Like, like when we were kids, you would do that where you would have a magnet and then you put a magnet behind a piece of paper and you can like move something around.
Yeah.
You like that? You figured that was like the amount of effects work that they did,
and they didn't even have the camera push in on the cutout picture of Superman. They just used the zoom. And then also I read that the producers, they slimmed it down to 90 minutes in an effort to have it play more times during the day so it could make more money.
Yeah, which that ended up backfiring too. I mean, it's really. I find a lot of similarities between the Salkind model and the Golan Globus / Cannon model, right? Mm-hmm. But the difference is that the Salkinds ponied up money, right? They were willing to fail big. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we saw that reflected because, I mean, Superman obviously is the biggest example, but I mean they did kind of the same thing as what Golan and Globus would do, which is they would get stars attached and then they would hype the stars being attached and use that to get funding. Mm-hmm. It was a very successful independent funding model in the 70s and 80s. And the Salkinds did that not just with Superman, but they also did it with, the Three Musketeers, which also led to the sequel, The Four Musketeers, which is just cut footage from the first movie.
Which I read they wanted to do with this. With the deleted scenes.
Yeah. Well, what happened, there's like a thing. It's the Salkind clause in contracts now.
Oh, really?
Like actors have to be paid separately for another film if you're planning to use their footage shot for this film in another film.
Oh,
and that's
funny.
that's like the Salkind clause because of that. Because essentially they were just going to release a sequel and not pay the actors. Right? Which seems like kind of a shitty thing to do, just on its face.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? I don't know. I think I'm a decent person, and that would rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But they wanted to do that with Superman 1 and 2, right? And that's the reason that Marlon Brando does not appear in the second one, because he's like, I didn't agree to have my footage used in the second one or whatever. Like, there was some contractual thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why.
Wait, can we talk about this scene?
Yes, please.
So basically Superman is Mrs. Doubtfiring Mariel Hemingway and Lois Lane here.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, apparently this was a scene that was put in at the behest of the producers. They're like, oh, we should have a scene where where Clark and Superman are on a date at the first time. To which I say, why would Superman ever agree to this?
Yeah, I mean, that is just cruel to the person who is not Lois Lane.
It's super dickish.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. And I wondered if I missed something, if he was there for some reason and she was there on accident, the other woman. But she's on a double date with him.
She's like, hey, Lois is going to be interviewing Superman. Why don't you come too? And Clark is like there's literally anything else Clark could say than yes. Mm-hmm. The only way it works is if you're like, well, I'm Superman. I'm going to F with these girls. Because why the hell not? I'm Superman.
Yeah, there's just... I get why it seems funny in theory, or it seems like an interesting scene or set piece, but it came across as cruel to me.
It's not very Supermanish behavior.
Yeah, and then he has to keep screwing things up for both of them just to make appearances with both of them, and it's just a disaster. The whole thing is a disaster.
I mean, it's one of those things where you would see it in like a Three's Company episode.
Yeah.
Where Jack Tripper makes a date with two people and he's running back and forth.
Yeah, but you don't expect Superman to play two women.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not even a situation where Mariel Hemingway as Lacey is like kind of a cruel person.
Uh-huh.
We're like, oh, she's getting her comeuppance. I mean, she genuinely likes him and she just wants to spend time with him.
And she keeps putting up with his crap.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's coming up right here. Right here where he gets... I mean, the amount of foreplanning... Cart. Yeah.
This is kind of funny. Oh. That's fun.
I mean, how much planning did he put into doing all these maneuvers, you know?
I know. But you think if she had been this character where she was very pushy and she was aggressive, but then she softens over time or something. But she's just not... She's nice from the beginning. Here we go again, too. This is kind of a great... You don't see the cut. When he goes into the limo and out.
Just a guy.
I'm impressed.
No, yeah, but there is no cut because that's just a guy.
Shut up, Zach.
Right now.
I didn't even agree.
I mean, that's not Christopher Reeve getting out of the car.
But the first time, though, when he did the closet thing? No. I stand by that. That was impressive.
That was, but I mean, this here, you figure Christopher Reeve gets into the car and then some guy dressed up like Superman gets out of the car.
Well, sometimes I think I still have the mind of a child as I watch these.
Because I noticed that specifically yesterday as I was watching. I was like, oh, that's a clever way of just doing that. And I was like, only a fool would fall for that. A fool.
That would be funny if you did say that. And your wife is just like, yeah, he actually did say that out loud. I don't know why he did. Only a fool would.
He was waving his fist in the air for some reason.
That's a hell of a nice apartment.
So is this Lois's apartment?
Right?
Or is it Lacey's apartment?
Poor Lacey. Oh, maybe it's Lacey's.
That would make more sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of like if they were rivals for Superman, that would kind of a Betty and Veronica thing.
Yep.
That would be more... I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that she likes Clark. I think that's nice.
Me too.
You know?
And the double duty thing is a fun idea. I just didn't like the way it was carried out. Look at her there. She's so happy. I feel so bad for her. Yeah, even this, she's like, don't worry about it. You knocked all like crap all over my carpet. That's fine.
You bumbling doofus. All right, anyway. So this here, where he sees Lex Luthor on the big jumbotron in Times Square. This is again. It's another callback to Superman 1, where Lex Luthor communicates with him on a frequency that only dogs can hear.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of callbacks.
Yeah. Callbacks or recycled ideas?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you want to think about it, right?
Actually, no. I mean, if Lex is able to do that, it makes sense that is how he would get a hold of him.
If he's like, well, this worked in the past.
I just noticed the movie screen in Times Square said The Karate Kid on the movie theater marquee.
Oh, wow. How funny.
So, wouldn't that be 84?
Maybe Karate Kid 2?
Maybe they bought stock footage.
Well, Karate Kid Part 2 was 86.
Oh, there you go. I didn't notice the part 2, but you're probably right.
I mean, maybe it says Part 2. I didn't see it, but that would make sense to me. Here's the thing, though. How does Lex know that Superman will happen to be looking at that screen?
Right.
Right? I know you're on a double date, so check it out.
That's funny.
I love the banter between them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Between
Lex
and
now,
Superman.
Lex? And John Cryer's doing a funny '80s dude in quotes. All right, you're going.
He's like
down,
Otto.
He's super dud. You know.
He's Otto, the bus driver.
Yeah, he is.
I think maybe it's just because of distance of time, but yeah, you can look at the dialogue that they give Superman as being kind of cornball. But I think Christopher Reeve sells it with just being so earnest.
Totally.
Yep. It's a delicate balancing act, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. As cornball as that line is, where he's talking about public transportation, I love hearing him say it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, those nails.
I mean, Superman has a line coming up here where he's like, you've violated the laws of man, and now you violated the laws of nature too. And it's like, you can see how that would sound really awkward from anybody else.
Yeah,
there it is. Right there.
He sells it. So he would have already faced off, conceivably, in the longer cut with his first version of this.
That's correct.
That might have felt a little monotonous as a story.
Well, I think that because they kept the original Nuclear Man in the comic book adaptation of this film.
Oh.
So to some extent, you can see the flow a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But again, it's really weird because I think just as a story, it works as a comic book story. And I don't mean that in a pejorative sense. Like it keeps coming back to like we said earlier, like with the betrayed. Like I think the director just did not understand how to translate this story in a way that did justice to it. Mm-hmm. But I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the Iron Eagle guy would, turn out a not quality film.
I don't remember Iron Eagle very well, but I remember there were a lot of 80s movies that they wanted to be about jet planes, and then they had to figure out how to create some sort of war for them to use the jet planes in the end.
That's right. Yeah, they made like 4 Iron Eagle movies.
Wow, really?
Which is, I'm going to say that's like 3.5 too many.
Huh. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even... Again, they're like a WGN Saturday afternoon special.
That totally.
I remember that.
You know who stars in the first one? Jason Gedrick.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him. Who's he from?
He's like, if you saw him, you'd recognize him. He was on a show called Boomtown. You ever see that?
Oh, Boomtown. Yeah, you introduced me to that.
Oh, I did. Yeah, he was like one of the uniformed cops on that show. Okay, so here we go. We're about to marathon into like 5 minutes of just solid, terrible special effects.
Here we go. We get the same shot of Superman flying toward camera.
So what always bugged me is how are their capes flapping in space?
Well, there's going to be some bigger problems with space coming up.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, this right here, the original plan here, so Nuclear Man shows up and he just blasts the shit out of the
Great Wall.
The Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
And the idea was Superman goes around and he, at super speed, fixes the Great Wall of China. Mm-hmm. And then they realized, wait, we don't have the money for that. So what do we do? And their solution they arrived at was, shall we say, novel?
Yeah.
Go on. So coming up here, let's see.
It's going to happen.
It's right here.
There we go.
So basically, they said, okay, here's the idea. Why don't we just have him like look at the wall and it builds itself?
Builds itself back. And apparently that was footage of him nodding to people.
Yeah.
At the Great Wall that they just put lasers in front of his eyes.
Now, do you imagine that Christopher Reeve saw that for the first time at the premiere and just like his hands quietly just sunk into his head like, oh God.
Yeah.
I love this too. He blows at him and he gets encased in like a perfectly formed piece of crystal.
Yeah. Looks like a cut diamond.
See, what I thought of, and this is me as a kid, I'm like, well, ice must mean moisture. So did he just like spit at him? So is that his spit that he's encased in?
That's funny. That's like a matte painting of a volcano. That's kind of interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, you know something that I am kind of impressed by that I don't understand is these flying shots, how we don't see the wires.
Well, they just use the same technique that they used for the earlier ones, right?
I know. I get impressed when I see things where I know they didn't have the computer wizardry to remove things. And
how would they get rid of wires in those days?
I mean, I assume they were made in such a way. Obviously, they're thicker, but say like fishing line or some sort of clear, translucent sort of. I have no idea. That's just me speculating. I have no clue.
Yeah. So there's an example of, see, like that right there looks okay. Where he's slicing the top of the mountain there.
This actually looks kind of cool. I don't know if this is a good idea though for a volcano that's exploding just to cork it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does to volcanoes, but I wondered if there'd be some sort of implosion.
You want to use your super breath to cool it down.
Yeah, yeah, and that'd be okay because it was already cooled down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do like. I think it's cool that we saw it in the first scene where he deals with the Russians, and then here that Superman speaks like every language on Earth.
Yeah, he sounds good doing it too. I mean, I don't speak those languages, but he sounds pretty good.
I think that's like a neat little thing. The idea that Superman would be a protector of the Earth and everybody could talk to him. I just, that's like a neat conceit of the character, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That looks kind of good.
Look at my nails, biatch.
Why? See, there was some speed
now, Mark Pillow.
This gets a little rough. What's that?
I said Mark Pillow, basically his career began and ended with this film.
Yeah, I mean, was he like the bassist in some sort of rock band in the 80s, or that's what he looks like? I mean, did he have something else going on, or was this? It's kind of a shame if.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull up his IMDb page, it's basically he was in Superman 4. He was in an episode of Wise Guy, and then he starred on a TV show called Alaska Kid, which was not produced in the States, I don't think.
I love that, by the way, when he's taking off by the Statue of Liberty, Nuclear Man, the walls of the base of the Statue of Liberty are wobbling. I love that. And that's like a Getty Images stock photo of
right
New York. They're just like...
This just looks like he's holding the part of the Statue of Liberty, and it just looks like foam rubber,
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I mean, there's part of me that can just go with it. Like, knowing that this movie has a low budget and it's sort of a campy, not so great version, you can sort of view it through that lens. But it is fun talking about this with you. I'm just, for the people out there, like, come on, guys.
But it's weird, right? Because the question is, I mean, do you not at least measure this against the standard of the previous films?
I know. And it's easy... Because it's 30 years old, you can go, oh, well, it's old or something. But you do remember that Star Wars happened before this. Back to the Future happened before this. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just sort of like, oh, this must have been rough even then.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine how fans of the previous films who were older must have felt watching this,
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the ads for this, and, I was a kid. I was 7. So it's like, oh, it's another Superman movie. So I didn't know any of the behind-the-scenes finagling, you know. I remember I was in Edmonton that summer, as I recall, and there was like a promo at 7-Eleven where if you bought a Slurpee, you would get like a Superman 4 poster.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Oh, there it is. He got sliced. So those nails are kind of your button, right?
Yeah, those are my button.
That's what we're learning.
Anyway, good guys. So 7-Eleven promotional.
Yeah, I remember going to 7-Eleven and being like, hey, do you guys have the posters? And they're like, pardon me? And I'm like, I saw it on TV. So apparently they didn't get the memo.
That's funny.
There he goes. Look at that.
Hi.
See, when you think about it, if that didn't look so goofy, it would be like a pretty cool moment where Superman gets kicked off and then,
And his cape flutters to the earth.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool image.
Yeah.
Or it could be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, and then we complain a lot about movies now where it just becomes the third act is because they can literally do anything they want. They do. And it becomes too much. I mean, everything that's happening here, if it had better special effects, it is sort of like three things happen.
Sure.
Rather than an entire city getting annihilated. And if there was some sort of middle ground, I think that would be great these days.
Yeah, well, this is the opposite. This is since they can't do anything, they don't do anything.
Yeah. Like they sent a
Zack
PA
Snyder
to
have
the
done with
Statue
this?
of Liberty to buy one of those toy models. And then they put a fishing line across a picture they bought of New York City and flew it across.
Yeah, so by virtue of the sort of Daily Planet's buyout, the idea is here that Lacey is like turning against her dad. But like you said, it's not like she's been...
Yes.
Well, I mean, but she's never been like against her dad, though.
No. Yeah, it just feels like there should have been some friction that led to this, perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe there was. Maybe it was cut out. I mean...
Yeah, who knows? In that
30, 40 minutes. Yeah.
But this is a nice moment right here, right? Where he's essentially dying, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose you could make a metaphorical connection to AIDS, which was, very the headlines. It was in the headlines at that time. But I mean, this is a really nice moment where I don't know. I mean, see, to me, this would work better if she knows he's Superman.
I totally agree because now she knows what he is capable of, but seeing him weak like this would be devastating.
Yeah, because the way she's talking here, it's almost like the undercurrent is she does know.
Yeah, I got that impression too. Doesn't she sort of imply that?
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense then if you juxtapose it with the double date scene.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, that's the thing, right? I mean, I think when you're doing a sequel, do you want it to be a series of episodes or do you want to carry the story forward? And I think the logical thing to do here, just to make it something different, would be to deepen their relationship. And I think having her know, and maybe this is just, again, with me now having grown up in a world where Lois and Superman are not just, she not only knows who he is, they're married, and that's like my familiarity. So I say, well, why keep it a secret? It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, 4 movies deep as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know. I think what I said earlier really applies, where like this scene here, this is like one of the best scenes in the film. Because it underscores her real feelings for Superman above and beyond, oh, he's Superman and I'm in love with him, right? Because it's just very sort of childish. But like it's like she loves him because of the person that he is.
Yeah.
And then the idea that that's the thing that prompts him to get better.
Yeah, this is nice.
I look at this and I'm just, it's just such a shame that this was Christopher Reeve's swan song from this role,
Yeah. Yeah, you almost wish he could, if it had even been 10, 15 years later, played an aged Superman in a more prestige version of the film. And
well, I mean, the plan was originally for to do another movie, not by Canon. So Canon had the license. They licensed it from the Salkinds. But the Salkinds got the rights back after Canon didn't do anything. Yeah, after, they probably had the license for like 4 years, right? They didn't do anything after Superman 4. So the plan that the Salkinds had is as late as 92, 93 was they were going to make a movie called Superman the New Movie. And the plan was, in essence, to have it be a soft reboot, but to get Christopher Reeve back. And there's a script. I mean, there was a script out there written by Cary Bates, who was a Superman comic book writer, and it would have had Brainiac, and it would have had, the shrunken city of Kandor. I mean, it would have really gone heavily into the mythology. And the idea was to have this do again what Superman the movie did in '78. And essentially, it never got made because, number one, Christopher Reeve was very hesitant because he was like, if I'm gonna come back, right? Because this would have been like '92. So 5 years after this. So he would have been, like in his early 40s?
Yeah.
So kind of on the border of like being able to still do it, Mm-hmm. But I think he was more, it was less about that, but it was like, do we want to do another disappointing movie, right?
Yeah.
But essentially what killed it is that Warner Brothers was like, wait a minute, why the hell do you guys have the rights to Superman?
Really? What do you mean?
Because... they wanted it back. They wanted the Superman rights back for themselves.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. Right? Because remember, the Salkinds got the rights before Warner Brothers bought DC.
Ah, I see.
Right? And it's kind of the same thing with Batman. Right? Because if you notice, like every Batman movie, every single Batman film is credited under the producers Ben Melniker and Michael Uslan.
Mm-hmm.
And those two guys got the rights before Batman blew up. And they've had nothing to do with the films, really, in terms of production, but because of the exigencies of copyrights or whatever, they get a producer credit on every Batman movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing with Superman. See, this here, they don't explain, like, why he's getting older.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can sort of intuit that Nuclear Man did something to it, but even something that explains what is happening to him, I think would have been more effective.
And for him to then have to use that last crystal, right, which is the last...
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a big deal that he would use that.
Right.
But it's not...
And that, too, by the way, is a callback to, or a ripoff, if you will, of Superman 2, where he loses his powers and then he has this crystal that somehow he uses to get his powers back. So, a lot of deja vu in Superman's life.
Deja vu all over again.
Yeah. But the Salkinds, very shortly after this movie came out, about a year after this, they produced the Superboy TV show.
See, I don't remember that. I know it through you, but is that a painting?
You don't remember it existing, or?
No, yeah, I don't even remember it on TV.
Wow. Yeah, it was a syndicated show. It was a syndicated half-hour show, and it ran for 4 years. And that was, in essence, this is like going off on a tangent, but yeah, there was like a legal battle between Warner Brothers and the Salkinds about that show because it was distributed by Viacom.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, Warner Brothers forced them to cancel the show, even though it was doing well, because they were like, "No, we're doing a Superman TV show," and they were doing Lois and Clark. They were gearing up to do what became. And so Superboy ended, and then Lois and Clark started like a year later.
Okay.
And it ended. It was still doing well in the ratings, but it ended because Warner Brothers forced them to cancel the show.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
for them.
So here we go. This is hilarious to me that he's just like pleading with the guy to stop doing it.
Yeah, like go after him, dude.
Yeah, do what Zack Snyder's Superman would do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying crack his neck, but crack his neck.
Yeah. Right. Come on, it's a snap.
That's it. We're done.
The next was pretty impressed. Minutes. That looks like a backlot. That was pretty impressed with the two cars smashing into each other and how they were bending. Look pretty good actually.
Well, I mean, you can sort of tell the parts of the movie that they spent the money on.
Yeah, a lot of spinning
like,
people.
Why is the guy floating?
I don't know, but yeah, when they had John Cryer spinning too, a lot of spinning.
Like they never if his power set is like here Superman, that's another new power he has.
He uses the Force basically to get those guys out of the air.
It's lower vision.
Yeah.
So the thing here is that the Nuclear Man is romantically interested in Lacey, but that's never like they never explain why, and the reason for that is because the first nuclear man was interested in her.
Oh.
So he has like the memories of the first one.
Wow, okay. I like this. That looks cool, by the way. Those windows.
Now, I'm pretty sure this is where Lex Luthor, this is the hideout, right?
Yeah, I think. This is funny. Shoves him in an elevator. No light, no sun.
Makes sense.
You think
it's
this is
a
an
foolproof
anti-solar
plan.
power movie?
I know, right?
Solar power. When will they learn? Bring him out to space. I love this. Take him to the moon naturally.
Yeah, I think the writer Mark Connor he mentioned in the commentary early on. He's like, you're about to see just a circus funhouse of bad special effects.
Yeah, I mean, this is your huge set piece, right? This fight on the moon, eventually, what's coming up, and it's the way. Oh, look, you can see in high definition. You can see the black of space was just a curtain. You can see the ripples in the curtain. Did you see that?
Is that right? See, I'm
Yeah.
watching on my tablet, so I didn't notice that. There you go, folks. The illusion is ruined in Superman 4.
I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that this fight is, I mean, basically just slow-mo. Like, you know, it's like people, I love it. This is great. Superman adjusting the flag.
That's a very Superman moment.
Yeah. And that's what you want. I love this. It stirs you, but then he's distracted and kaplow.
There we go.
Yeah, but anyway, so you know, we people don't like the speed ramping, right? Where you're watching this fight, and then all of a sudden it's like in slow motion. Imagine a world where there's a scene in a movie of a fight that's entirely in slow motion. Superman 4.
That's this. That's what we're seeing right here.
So there's this real like sort of you feel your body like hurry, like leaning forward, wanting everything to speed up a little bit.
You know what drives me crazy is the nuclear man's like shrieking.
I can't imagine that was Gene Hackman.
No, probably not.
Some sound alike. Oh, those nails.
Yeah, every time I see the nails, I mean, I agree with you because I had the same kind of reaction when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid. I just was unnerved by it.
Did you have bad experience with somebody with long nails as a kid?
I don't know. I've always been a nail biter. Maybe that's it.
I think we're finding some stuff out. We're digging up some stuff, Brian.
He's a bizarre O'Brien. That's the thing. I bite my nails. He lets his grow too long. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
this makes sense.
Kind of gets his ass kicked in this movie a lot.
Yeah. And then apparently a stuntman had a career-ending injury during this fight.
Is that right?
Which I don't want to make light of, but I'm trying to fathom how. Like it's just them, just kind of.
No kidding. So was it? Do you know who the stuntman was doubling for?
I don't. It just said the stuntman.
A career-ending injury.
Yeah, and I think he sued the production company.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's terrible.
So it wasn't a situation where he does the fight and he's like, you know what, it's not worth it, and he quits.
No.
Career ending.
Yeah.
Like injury to his spirit. Like
Yeah. Disillusioned with the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
The whole filmmaking process. I love to see this is like a Warner Brothers cartoon where he hammers them into the ground here.
See, I wonder what was going through Christopher Reeve's mind when he's filming this. Like at what point did he give up?
I know it was going through my mind. Why didn't Superman do that to Nuclear Man?
Yeah, dummy. Bury the elevator.
Yeah. Put it in the bottom of the ocean or something.
Yeah, I mean the whole concept of what the nuclear man's powers are is extremely nebulous.
Yeah. And that's the way I likes it.
There we go. Yeah, so he just kind of shows up and
he's back.
I just love
Okay, now we have something to talk about.
Okay, here we go. So this is the moment where the movie actively says, "Science, F your science."
Yeah. I mean, we do, I feel like, question logic possibly more these days now in internet culture where we can sort of nitpick. But even back in 1987, what were they smoking?
Now, I can say with absolute certitude that I was 7 years old and I was like, hold on a second. Right here, something is very wrong here.
Yeah. So Nuclear Man is taking Lacey into space. She is past the atmosphere in space.
So A, she
breathing.
is breathing in space. B, she is falling.
Yes. She's not freezing.
Or being torn apart by the vacuum.
Yeah. And then Superman creates an eclipse.
Right. So you figure like he by pushing the moon into the like he's causing tidal waves
all
somewhere.
over the earth. Yes.
Superman is a dick.
Yeah, and then he's letting Lacey float for a little bit.
Here, wait here in space while I handle this.
I don't know how she would handle re-entry.
Yeah.
I do love this, by the way, though, throwing him into a nuclear reactor and then all the lights.
Right.
It's not like the power was out. That's what would happen. It's more like all those light switches are getting flipped on.
Right. That's the power of nuclear energy, folks.
Wait, did we see her return to Earth? Lacey?
No, we didn't.
So he
it's
just kind
implied.
of left her floating while he did that, and then he, I assume, came back and got her?
Well, it's weird too because I don't think the storyline is ever really resolved.
With her?
Like her storyline, yeah.
Do we see her again?
I don't think we do.
I love this, by the way, where Perry White is like, screw you, tabloid guy. I'm going to save our paper by buying it. And you're like, well, okay, well, how did this man who probably has sort of a middling salary buy the paper? He's like, I got a loan at the bank. It's like most people can barely get a loan to put down a down payment on a house. But he bought this enormous, like, New York Times newspaper with a loan from the bank.
Yeah, we never see Lacey again in this film.
Interesting.
Which seems like a major thing.
It seems
to
like
leave
her and Clark
unresolved.
should have had a moment.
Right. Yeah, that's hilarious. You know what's funny is that never even occurred to me until just now as I'm watching it with you.
Maybe he didn't know how to resolve it, so he left her up there. Yeah, he's got a dark side.
Well, she can breathe in space, so she's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just left her on the moon, waiting for him.
You know what occurred to me, too, looking at this scene here with Clark in that coat and hat? I remember my dad owning a coat like that. That's a very 1980s
It really is.
man coat. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
I will never wear a coat like that in my life. That thought occurred to me when I was watching this last night. I will never.
It just seems like a lot of effort.
It does.
straps
Yeah, it
and-
feels.
yeah,
I don't get the utility of it necessarily. It doesn't look like it would keep you very warm.
probably. Now this here, I have to say, this is like one of my favorite moments of Superman, like on film. I think it's so perfect.
His whole
Where-
speech here.
This speech that he gives, I absolutely love it, and I think the iconography of Christopher Reeve as Superman saying this, it's like a permanent message for humankind.
Right.
You know, I love what he says here, where he's like, there will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their leaders have no choice but to give it to them. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's such a beautiful sentiment, and it means so much coming from Superman. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to remember. I think it was. That comes from a famous quote. I read that somewhere.
Now, originally, the way
Yeah.
this was supposed to... See, this is a cut. He's supposed to say, I wish you could see the world the way I do. And he says, wait a minute, you can. And he goes to Jeremy, the little boy, and he takes him up into space, and Jeremy tells the world... Superman is like, Jeremy, tell the world what you see. And he's like, I just see one world. I don't see any borders. And Superman's like, that's the way I see it, too, or something like that.
I like
and
that.
you can see it's very nice. You can see it in the deleted scenes where, again, same problem, is Jeremy somehow magically goes into space without a spacesuit.
And I would just love to hear his dubbed voice again. I don't see any borders.
No, Superman.
I love this too, like his solution to this punk. It's like, take him to a boys' home.
Yeah, Boys Town.
Yeah.
I see that. I always think of that Simpsons. Too crazy for Boys Town. Too much of a boy for Crazy Town. This is the first time I ever heard this piece of music.
What is it?
By it's the da, 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 because they're whistling that.
Mm.
And so whenever I hear it, I think of Superman 4.
Oh, funny.
Now here's the interesting thing here. He kind of explains how he got rid of him, right? This is the Basil exposition part of the movie. And then he says, "See you in 20." And kind of the ironic thing is that they filmed this movie in 1986, and then Superman Returns came out in 2006. So,
wow,
20 years.
Huh. Now, is this the same
It is.
ending from even the first film?
Yeah, they use the same it's from one of the previous ones. Because this is definitely not from this. The effect looks too good.
Yeah.
Right? That looks demonstrably not a part of this.
Yeah.
But the plan was, we're going to do Superman 5, and we're going to, I think they even thought, we'll take the deleted footage and make a Superman 5 out of it, before reality struck them in the head.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I mean, I enjoyed watching it, knowing that it's the lesser of the Superman films, and I grew up with it. This is a complete nostalgia soft spot for me, I think, but I can only imagine the disappointment when it came out for older fans, and then also for the people involved, thinking, man, we really tried to put our best foot forward, and this is just, our hands were tied, and this is what we ended up with.
That was Susanna York as the voice of his mother. So she played Superman's mother in the first two films. So they actually did get her back, which is a nice sop to continuity. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I watch Superman 4 the same way I watch Batman and Robin, which is, just another chapter in this character. There's some highs, there's some lows. This is one of the lows, but there's a lot of highs too.
Yeah, it's funny. I completely turned around on Batman and Robin with our commentary. I was able to sort of see it for what it is and be like, well, this is that Batman.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. That's the fun of doing these commentaries. I mean, I think it's just we can sort of appreciate the stuff that works, and maybe we definitely sort of toss tomatoes at the stuff that doesn't, but it's not meant to be just, hey, let's dogpile.
Yeah, and it's easier to say now that they have made films since, right? I mean, if that was the one we were left with, I'm sure we would feel a lot worse about it. But
yeah, and it's a moment in time. I mean, I think if nothing else, you look at this film and you say, well, by virtue of the fact that it was part of canon when canon was a thing, that says something. Look at the subject matter it's tackling. That says something about life, political realities of the late 80s. Mm-hmm. And I think every film is a moment in time. 2 years later, the Batman franchise would be born, and then 10 years after Superman 4, the Batman franchise would also die. Mm-hmm. Because so these things are all cyclical. I think that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But that wraps up our commentary track on Superman 4. I hope you folks enjoyed listening to it. Brian and I did enjoy talking through it.
Yeah, I really did.
It's a fascinating mess of a movie, but I appreciate the fact that so many people do have a soft spot for it, and I think that says something about the elasticity of childhood memory, that we can make something mediocre seem exceptional.
Yeah, there's something, when people dismiss things because of nostalgia, I get what they're saying, but at the same time, I'm comfortable with nostalgia keeping something that I can admit is bad, me liking it anyway. Continuing to like it. It's like, well, yeah, nostalgia causes me to kind of still like this thing, even though I know, I don't need to defend it.
That's absolutely right.
So, yeah.
Very true. And with that, that is this movie film commentary track, but we will be back soon with our next one. We are doing these more frequently, and that means that we're casting our gaze in all kinds of different directions. That's what makes it fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad you came up with this one. This was I enjoyed revisiting this.
This one specifically, I got several emails after we did Batman and Robin saying, "Dude, you got to do Superman 4." And I was like, "Are you challenging me?" And so I was happy to do that, and so we're happy to take on suggestions. We truly, for us, it's just, hey, tell us what you'd like us to talk through, and if we feel like there's something we can add that's worthwhile, we'll certainly give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll be back next week with our regular show. We'll be doing our post summer box office session. It's become a tradition after Labor Day. We always take stock of the summer season that just ended, so we're looking forward to doing that. And we'll be back shortly with our next commentary. I'm not telling you what that is, mainly because I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. But thanks, everybody, for listening. And if you have any questions or comments, email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com or hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. You can find me on Twitter at Zacky's Corner. That's ZAKI's Corner. It's also my website, just add.com. And you can find Brian's work on television. Where, Brian?
You can check out the show Puppy Dog Pals on Disney and Disney Junior.
There we go.
Check it out.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.